Hello you guys, so welcome to Riahs Tie-Dye. If you have never been here before, thank you for coming. I am so happy to have you. If you have not liked my videos or subscribed or turned the notification bell on, you should probably do that. And I will tell you why. So today we are making a rainbow spiral. However, I don't make very many videos with muck dye in them, and I feel like that's what we need to do, and it's going to be rainbow. And if it turns out bad, I'll still let you guys see it because I don't do the muck, so I don't know. A lot of people love the muck, and it makes really cool designs and really cool textures, and I want to try it with a rainbow swirl, if that's possible. So, back to subscribing. I have tons of tapestries. I have tons of t-shirts. I will be doing some extra stuff soon. Christmas is coming up, so you're going to want to tie-dye some stuff for your fam and friends. Send it to them. Just saying. Anyways, we are doing my classic rainbow spiral, but muck dye, which is also ice dye. Can't wait, because I have, like I said, I don't muck dye anything, so we're going to do it anyways. We have a 100% cotton t-shirt. It is an extra large. These are George brand, which is a Walmart brand. They're like extra long and extra soft. I also use Hanes. I also use Gildan. So depending on your preference, I have links down in the description box below for different kinds of t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts. I have hemostats in there, which we're going to use today. This is to make our spirals. Some people you probably have seen use forks. It's just to hold the center of the spiral and twist it. It's a little easier than using your fingers. And I also have rubber bands, so everything that I use in my videos is down there, so check that out. Let's get started. So my hemostats lock, and I only put it on the very first setting because you don't need it that tight, and you don't want to put a hole in your shirt. So I know most people know how to do a spiral, but if you don't, that's totally okay. That's what I'm here for. Now, you can put your spiral wherever you want on your shirt. I don't know why, but I'm always going towards the middle. So that's where I'm going to go. So I am going to pinch up a little bit, and I'm going to clip the hemostat. So now it's locked, and I cannot undo it until I pull it. So we're just going to start swirling it a little bit, and we're going to try to control how tall the pleats are. They're not going to be perfect. Sometimes they're going to look all bunched up. That's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Unless you want it like that. If you really want it perfect pleated, then you go for it, because that would look amazing. Mine are never perfect. I know that. I love a good spiral. But don't worry, I won't be leaving this one for 2 weeks like I did in the last one. However, you gotta admit, that last one looked cool. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I posted a video, and the thumbnail is of a shirt that was left for 2 weeks. Not willingly. I just forgot that it was there. I got other stuff going on. So my bad, but it turned out super awesome, and it was sold right away. So that'll tell you something. Accidents are something too. Even if you don't like them, somebody else does, because I tell you what, my husband wasn't even sure about that shirt. I liked it right away. He wasn't sure, but then it got snatched. Somebody wanted it so bad, they took it right away. And that made me very happy. I know some of you have probably checked out my website. It has not been completely updated yet. I'm trying to get stuff on there as I go. So I'm sorry if you've been waiting for new stuff. If you do want to check it out, that's in my links down below also, and I'm hoping to get some hoodies on there soon. But hoodies are also slim pickings. My last tapestry video, I mentioned that Tapestries are getting hard to find, but so are hoodies. People are buying them up, and I'm telling you, it's this tie-dye stuff. People want to do it. So if you find some, get your hands on them. Don't be hoarding them. I'm telling you. I'm not paying a ton of money for hoarded items. Don't mind me. I'm sorry. I'm random. Alright, so, like I said, not perfect. You can tell it's not. It's a little bunched up right here. Now, if you want to go back and fix that, you definitely can. I just open it up a little bit and then start pulling it back in. Kind of fixes it. It's not my super spiral that I aspire to do one day. And the collar, of course, always gives me issues because it's thick and annoying. So you really just want it to look semi-good. So boom. So we got a spiral here. Now, be very careful, okay? Don't just yank up on your hemostat, because if you do, you're going to take the center right out. Unclip it so it's not locked, and then put your finger right down in there, right by the nose of the hemostats. If you have to, try to split it a little bit. And then rock back and forth very carefully, because these have teeth on them. Now, that came out pretty good. Make sure you're using a good straight hemostat. I guess you could use the curved one, but it's easier if you use the straight one, I found. And like I said, if you pull it up, it's going to pull the fabric right with it. And if you pull up too hard, you're going to actually get a hole in the middle of your shirt, and you're going to be super mad that you waited and you rinsed it and it looked awesome, but then you noticed the hole. So just be careful. And I got my stretchy rubber bands, so we are just going to rubber band this guy up. Now, I don't want the rubber bands covering the whole shirt, obviously, so if I don't use all of these, that's why. When we go to place the dye on here, we're going to use really thin strips of dye all the way around, because I think that's going to look sweet. And we're going to muck dye it. I got to try it. I've only done it like one other time. And if you don't know what muck dye is, muck dye, muck, M-U-C-K, just so you know, I am not swearing. Muck dye is when you ice dye something. You put the powder dye on, then you put ice on top of it, but instead of it sitting up on a rack so that the dye can drip down into something, you leave it right in the bottom of whatever you're keeping it in. Like, I think in this case, I'm actually going to use a disposable lasagna pan. I think it's going to work really, really, really well. And I'm going to put tons of ice on it, because I feel like the more the muck, the more the merrier there. That's probably not even how you say that. Excuse me. Now, this is probably plenty of rubber bands. But yeah, that's what muck dye is. So it basically sits in the literal dye for 24 hours or 48 hours, depending on your preference. And then when you're ready to rinse it out. And yeah, it's going to be a muck dye swirl. So it's going to be awesome. And I'm really excited to try it. So now this guy is ready to go. Rubber banded. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to let this guy dry out, because I feel like the dye bleeds less. And I know I sound like a broken record if you're always coming to my channel, if you're a regular. But remember, we got new people. We get new people every day, guys. For our family. Let's be nice. So, ready to go. We're going to let it dry, and then we'll be back to dye it. I will see you soon. Okay, guys, so here's our swirl t-shirt, and it is dried out. And you can see my lovely disposable lasagna pan. So that's what we're going to do this in, because it's a lot thicker than my shoe trays. and it'll safely be able to sit in the muck. And after I put the ice on top of it, I will not be disturbing it, because when you work with your shirt down in the muck, you should not touch it until you're going to rinse it out, because if you move it, it might just all turn brown, or hopefully you'll get lucky and it'll still look super cool. But I want to try to make it stay, I want the dye to stay where it has sat that whole time. So even if there's brown in it, it's going to look super cool anyways. So I think my method to the madness this time, I want to do thin strips of the dye all the way around, but I want a ton of strips of dye. So I'm going to go all the way around. My colors this time for the rainbow, I switched out my colors. I don't want to use red this time, so I'm using hot pink. Then I have deep orange, lemon yellow, lime pop green, and then I switched out my blue. So instead of robin's egg blue, I'm using seashell blue, and then red violet, of course. So we're just going to keep alternating them, and I'm going to go in order from pink to purple all the way around. And then after we do that, we're going to pile on the ice, and then it's going to get moved. It's going to get moved, and then I'm going to put ice on it. That way it's not going all over the place. So try to keep it near your sink so that it's not going to be a hassle for you. After we put the ice on top of it, it's going to sit for 24 hours. It's going to sit in the muck, so try not to move it, and don't put it anywhere where somebody is going to move it or run into it or bump it, whatever. And then we'll rinse it in cold water to get the soda ash off, and then, let the water get a little bit warmer to help with the dye. And then we'll do our awesome reveal. So just follow along, and then we'll be back for that part. Alright, just a quick note. I know I went off of what I said, and I think I'm going to be happy that I did, because I was just going to do thin strips all the way around, and I kind of still did that, but I did the thin strips all in the one cycle of the rainbow. But then when I got here, I was like, man, I should, try to do it offset kind of. So I did a little bit. A little section of orange, then a little yellow, and then a little bit more green. And then I started again, and then it got squiggly, and I was okay with that. I thought that was pretty cool looking, and then the last two were straighter. So I kind of wanted a couple of thicker sections, a couple of smaller sections, as I was changing my mind. So this is what it looks like. So obviously the yellow and the lime pop look exactly the same, so they're definitely next to each other right here, and right there. And so now we're going to move this down by the sink so that it's going to be easier to wash out and move around. And basically you're just going to pile the ice right on top of that. The more muck, the better. So there definitely is going to be brown in this, and I am okay with that because I think this time it's going to look awesome. So take it down somewhere by the sink, like I said, put your ice on, let it sit for 24 hours, and then rinse it in cold water, then a little bit warmer. And I just had to recap that, just saying. And I will see you for the reveal. Hey guys, it's reveal time. So for those of you that kind of skip to the end because you like the reveals more than you like anything else, and I don't blame you because they're pretty satisfying, I show you how to tie-dye a shirt in this video, and it is a rainbow spiral muck dye. So this is what it kind of looks like for now. So I know it doesn't really look rainbow, but after it gets washed and dried, it's gonna look super cool. And the muck dye is basically ice dye, but it's not elevated. So you have it sitting down in the dye after it's been melted and all that stuff. So we're gonna dive right into it. Super easy reveal, just got rubber bands on here. I used rainbow colors, but instead of red, I used pink. I used brighter colors. The only dark color in here was the red violet, and that kind of took over the shirt, but that's okay because I like it. All right, ready? Got a rainbow spiral from the Muck. Ooh, so I know it looks super dark, but after we wash and dry this, it's probably gonna be a lot brighter. So that is rainbow. Oh, there's a rubber band that fell off. That is our rainbow Muck Dye spiral. So we're gonna get it in the wash. It's gonna be hot water with cold water rinses if you even have that cycle. And I put an extra rinse on my cycle in my washer, and then I let it hang dry. So after all of that, you'll be able to see this shirt. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button as well and turn your notification bell on to all so that every time we post a video, you won't miss anything. And coming up next, we have my doodle mandala. Sounds weird. It's not. It's really cool. A lot of white, but a lot of rainbow color also. You're not going to want to miss that either. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.